So now I'm going to put my monsters into the game. Now I've done 3 of them to start off with, so let's do the other one. You need to start by creating a sprite and give it a name. So I'm going to go for my funny greeny blue one, which is actually called a shade called cyan. So cyan monster, I'm going to load the picture I want, which is cyan monster there. I need to edit him because he's not going to be the right size, and stretch him to 48 by 48, which is the same size as the Pac-Man. Seems reasonable. So now I've got my monster, and I want the monster to be able to do things in the game. So therefore that needs to be an object. So create the object. Again, give your objects sensible names, otherwise you get really confused as to which one's which and what's doing what. So cyan monster, I want it to be solid because I want it to be able to walk into things, and click OK, and I should now be able to find these 4 on here. And I'm actually going to move my Pac-Man out of here, and I'm going to move some of the food out of there, and I'm going to put my 4 monsters in here. So I'm going to click onto green monster, I'm going to click onto red monster, I'm going to pick onto pink monster, and I'm finally going to pick onto the cyan one, who's going to get a little bit more room than the other ones. Okay, so they are going to start off inside the box, and hopefully eventually they are going to change direction and come out of here. So come out and start going around the maze hunting for Pac-Man. That's what we want to happen. So, well, how do we do that? Well, simplest way to do it is just use a little bit of randomness. Just let the monsters randomly go around the maze without sort of ending up going in any particular direction at all. That's the simplest way, so that's what we're going to start with. So I'm going to start by going onto the green monster object, and I want this to happen from the very beginning of the game. So from the very beginning of the game, I want the monsters to move around. That's okay. I click on create. Create means from the very beginning of the game. And from the very beginning of the game, I want the monster to move, and I'm actually going to click on all 4 directions and speed 5. And what that means is it'll randomly go in any one of those 4 directions, and that's okay. And of course I want it to stick onto the grid, same as the Pac-Man. Makes it easier to get through the gaps. Well, it's not going to take very long of him moving before he hits a wall. Now obviously when he hits a wall, when he has a collision with the wall, well, I don't just want him to stop, because that means when he moves too far, stop. So I want him to do exactly the same thing again. Move in any one of the 4 directions at speed 5, and again lock to the grid. Okay, so these 2 instructions should mean that the green monster now, when I play the game, take a second to come up and see him moving around inside his little box. Now at the moment he's rather stuck in there because there's no obvious way for him to get out of the box. And one thing you have to think with your maze design is how your monsters are going to move, and are they capable of moving all the way around the maze. So at the moment there's no real way, the way I've designed the game, for this monster to get out of the maze. So if I click off that, click old greenie away from there, and instead of putting him starting here, I'll start him I'm going to start him here. Beg your pardon, that's the cyan one, which isn't the one I wanted. I wanted the green one. So put the green monster here and then start the game. You see that now it's going up and across, and there's all sorts of different directions it can go in. But again, I need to be careful, because now I'm sort of restricted the way it can go. So this is a way of starting the monsters move, and you can sort of get them randomly moving around the maze. But pretty much this monster's just going to do this L shape from now on. Okay? At which point he proves me wrong by going down there. So he's randomly moving around the maze. But it's not brilliant yet. So what we can do first of all is get the other monsters moving around the maze as well.